Start. Continue. Hello everyone and welcome to another Confucius Institute Chinese Corner hosted by the Coventry University Confucius Institute. Before we begin, I will give a little bit of an introduction as ever to the Confucius Institute. We are a group that's mission is to promote Chinese language and culture across the West Midlands, and as a part of this we are running this series of Chinese Corners wherein we invite people with interesting and unique voices and experiences to share their understanding of cultural issues in China. If you are interested in getting in touch with us about Chinese language classes, if you want to learn more about Chinese culture, please contact us using the information in the Q&A. Our email address is confuciusinstitute@coventry.ac.uk. Our Twitter is @ConfuciusCovUni. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. And I would also like to remind you that after this session, a video will be available on our news page, which is confuciusinstitute.coventry.domains/news. Again, all of this is in the Q&A section. So in today's session, we have a guest. We have one of Coventry University's master's students. Her name is Wen Ya, as with Chinese naming conventions. Wen is her surname, Ya is the first name. And we are also joined by Liang Feng, who is one of my colleagues at the Confucius Institute. So, yeah, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Yan, and I'm now a student in Coventry University. I'm very, very grateful and happy to be here because I can go through all of my life here, and I can make a little conclusion about my life and share my opinion about it to you. Yes.
So, quick question. So, yeah, what do you study here?
I'm studying applied linguistics. It's about teaching English as a second language. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you're going to introduce yourself when we start. You have very kindly prepared a presentation. So, would you like to just begin? And we will ask questions. I'm sure we can jump in. And if any of the audience have questions, please don't hesitate to write them.
Thank you so much. Let's get started. And today my title is a Chinese student in the UK. So obviously you can see I will share my perspective as a Chinese student and then what I have seen in the UK. And I divided them into 4 aspects, actually. Let me go to the next page. And the first one is being proactive. I really love this adjective because I got this from a book. It's the 7 Habits of High Effective People. It's from that book. I read through that book. I love it so much. It tells us we shouldn't be reactive. We should know that we are the masters of ourselves. And in Chinese, we have a very good proverb. God helps those who help themselves. If you can't do something that can lead yourself, actually nobody can rescue you. And this is a photo I took last semester, last year, in summer, the graduates, not summer, obviously it's winter. Yes, it's winter. Look at the clothes that they're wearing. And from this picture, actually, I showed them to all of my course mates. You know what? The first moment they looked at this, they say, oh my gosh, if you really want to graduate as a master, you must need to be bald. You're gonna lose a lot of your hair. Everybody, they were very, very anxious about that. Actually, to be here in the UK, I also lost a lot of my hair, The time here is very tight. You need to have a good time management. And from my experience, time management is about your energy management. Look at this, and this paper here, and I need to read a lot. I need to sit in front of my computer all day. Sometimes you forget to have your meals. And from the beginning, at the beginning of the course, you can see their deadlines on timetable. You can see you have a lot of time, but actually the fact is my deadline is like this. It's gonna bomb right away. So it's very tight. And a lot of people, we thought that if you study abroad in the UK, you're gonna have a party like this, you meet a lot of brilliant people. But actually, most of the time, we're like this, the right one, we're sitting in front of our computer to do our coursework.
Okay, so can I jump in with a quick question?
Yes.
As you said, you've started to talk about, again, time management being an issue. Were you surprised by the amount of work, or were you expecting the different approaches when you came to the UK?
Yes, actually, at first I thought there won't be any exams. Yes, I got it right. But then I didn't see. I got a lot of assignments. I need to focus more on reading and get a lot of useful information and writing. And then you need to edit, proofreading. A lot of things need to be done. Actually, I think it's huger. It's heavier than an exam.
Okay,
yes.
So the question coming up against from that for either for Chinese students who are looking to come to the UK, or even more for teachers who are going to be teaching Chinese students, did you feel well prepared for this, or are there something that you feel like you could have done more before you came?
Yes, of course. I really wished I have read a lot of books. Obviously we lack the reading. A lot of my course mates, they thought that, we don't have time to read. My tutor told us we need to read at least 8 hours. And then sometimes you need to spend 10 hours in a day, to read. Actually, we think it's impossible. If I have a lot more time, I would do some research and read a lot, and then I can have a very clear idea of the theory, and I can do the reference. Actually, that's my point.
Okay, and did you get any support from the university? What sort of help did you get to get used to this way of learning?
Actually, I'm really grateful for that, because at first in this university we have the academic writing center. We had a lot of free courses, and we can make appointment with the tutors there. So actually, I have tried several times. It's really good because they afford you a lot of good ways of studying. I think it's really brilliant. Yes.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Can I go on? Yeah.
Oh, yes, please.
Thank you. Yes, as I mentioned, there are a lot of different things here, so we need to embrace the challenges. Look at these books. Actually, this is for one course. You can see a lot of books that I borrowed from the library. I need to do a lot of reading. And it's very painful for us. It's not about the other language. It's that you can't focus. Nowadays, it's really hard for people to focus on all of the theory, all of the reading. Yes. And then let's go back to the water and the weather. The first time I lived here, it was in another accommodation, and they have this old tap, the hot water and the cold water, they are separated. So I have to move if I want to get to the appropriate temperature. We Chinese people, we love using the warm water, rather than always the cold water, especially when you are in winter, you know. And what surprised me is that you can drink the water from the tap. Actually, I have been hesitating for a long time, but then, you know, you see a lot of people, they're drinking just from the tap water, so you follow them. So you can be changed by your people around you, and you can get adapted to it. And then it's the weather. I didn't show you the weather that it's rainy, but it's like that, you know, my hair is dancing in the wind. It's very windy here. Although you can see maybe the outside, it's very sunny, and you think it's very warm, but when you get out, you found that, oh my gosh, it's so windy, it's cold. It's the big difference, you know. When I was in China, you see the weather you see from your window, actually it's the truth. When you get out, they are the same. And you know, because all of the weather, the study, they're all different. Actually, the way of socializing here, it's also different. I can remember it clearly last summer, during the, you know, after your dinner, maybe it's around after 6 p.m. You can seldom see people around the street. But in China, your life is just starting. You can see a lot of people from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. But you can see it's very quiet on the street. But after that, you know, after 12 o'clock in the evening, and you can see maybe there are a lot of loud music. I can hear the music from my neighbors, so it's a little bit different. And then
you mind, sorry, I'm just going to jump in because we had a question from the audience before we move on. We have had someone wondering whether you did your undergraduate course in the UK, or was that something in China?
Yes, I did it in China, and I learned journalism, so it's different. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. And then, you know, for us, the good way for us to socialize is to have a meals together. As you can see, have a meals. That's a way of me to get involved into the local community, or get involved with other nationalities here. You can see a lot of different students were good friends, and this is from the beginning. I arranged this dinner party from different nationalities. I felt very proud because my personal tutor asked me a question. He asked, "Oh, I found that you Chinese people always want to get together. You don't want to socialize. You don't talk to other nationalities." Then I told him, no. I am different, so that's the way I am doing it. You see, we really love to socialize with others, but you know, sometimes because of the language, we are not so confident. Even you think your English is pretty good in your own country, but when you come here, actually you found that, it's very embarrassing for me to make a mistake, you know.
That moment, when you're talking about the food, we do have another question that's come in. It's saying, asking, how is the food in the UK? So how have you found the food since you've been here? Is it better than Chinese food?
Actually, I will talk it later, but I can tell you that from the beginning, I really can't find a food that can represent the UK's dishes. It's really hard, you know, nothing satisfied me at first, but then it changed. I can show you later a lot of photos. Yeah, thank you. And then talking about the difference, look at this. Which one do you think is more beautiful? You know, from it's Lu Yan or Fan Bingbing? I can tell you, I mean, the majority of people think Fan Bingbing is the most beautiful woman in China. You see, people crazy about her. She's so beautiful. But today, before our sharing, actually, I did a little investigation. I posted this photo to my WhatsApp group. You know what? I I was so surprised that several of my course mates from other nationalities, they think Lu Yan is more beautiful, and they give me the reason, such as I can read this to you. They think that because her eyes are very outstanding. You know, in our Chinese people's perspective, her eyes are too small, and we thought, oh, everybody loves the, you know, the Westerners. They love their big eyes like Fan Bingbing. If you got these small eyes, you want to do a surgery to change your eyes. You know, actually, you are not so confident. But here they praised a lot about Lu Yan's eyes and her lips, you know. But of course, there are also some people, they think that Fan Bingbing is also beautiful because, you know, from her eyes and from her complexion. But some people think that, oh, she's too pretty. She dressed herself like a doll. It's no characteristic, you know. She has lost her personality. Actually, that's what I'm worrying, because, you know, now a lot of young generations, they look for the same beauty. They just want to be as beautiful as one type. They can't be so embracive. So they don't have another thought, you know. They even don't realize that actually we can enjoy the diversity of beauty. I think you need to know that if you're in this country, in this culture, you think that this is beautiful and you're crazy about it, but you should have a look at that. When you jump out of this circle, you can see that a lot of more ways of thinking. You know, you need to think out of the box. And for here, I want to know, if you really want to get yourself involved into a new community, you need to be communicative. You need to talk to teachers and course mates. One of my friends asked me a question, and he is from Turkey, and he asked, oh, I found that the students from China, they don't want to talk. They never speak to you. They even never answer the teacher's questions. And at that time, I thought, oh, maybe sometimes it's true, but sometimes it's not, you know. But it depends on yourself, whether you really love to be communicative, you really love to make friends here. And for me, at first, I found, because we have a large group of Chinese students here, the people around me, they're mostly Chinese. So then I give myself a mission. I need to find a stranger to talk. I give myself that mission. So this girl, she's so beautiful. At that time, I was there waiting a train, and she was there. And we, you know, it's just very magical. She smiled to me, and then I smiled to her, and then we just chat a little bit, and I took the photo for her, and we talked a lot about fashion, about people's different ideas about beauty. I think it's very, very enjoyable at that moment. So then we keep in a very good relationship. And then this guy is from Cambridge. At that time, I was also there taking photos. And then he gave me a thumb up, and then I took the photo of him. We also chatted a little bit. I think actually, if you talk to people, actually you can gain a lot more than you gained from your courses, from your university, because people are really, sourceful. And at first, you know, I'm so feared that I forget all of the experience I had with them. So I give myself another mission. I need to make a talking journal. So after I go back home, I need to take down what I have got from the amazing people. And when I look back, just like when I'm looking back all of the photos, I found, oh my gosh, the life here is so beautiful. I've learned a lot. It's amazing. If I didn't do these things, I think, oh, my life is blank. Whenever people ask me, what have you got from the UK? Actually, sorry, I don't know. So that is embarrassing. And when it comes to learning,
I'm just going to jump in again. So again, because we've got another question through that is related to what we were just discussing, and I think it's perhaps something that comes into a larger conversation, as you say. Again, it's interesting that your example of looking at the cultural difference goes towards looking at beauty standards.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the standards of who is more beautiful? And I think there's a question here that says, is it very common to discuss beauty and compare who is more beautiful? Because I think that there are quite a few who in Western culture, and perhaps as well in China, who might find that comparison to be somewhat uncomfortable or something sexist. So I'm wondering, is that something that's a particular culture difference to be aware of, or is that something that's quite common in China?
That is a very, very good question. We always love to compare, you have got that question, because it's not about the comparison of beauty. It's about how much do you earn? Do you have a car? Do you have a house? Do you have a good partner? Do you have a good mother? Do you have a good daughter? It's comparison everywhere. It's not merely about the beauty. So for me, myself, I even didn't realize that I compare these two ladies here. It's a kind of offense. I even didn't realize it. So I think that's what I need to think. I still need to think, out of the box. Thank you.
No, that's okay. I think it's an interesting question because, again, part of this is as an understanding when we're looking at something from a cultural, the differences between it. And we can see, looking at understanding of why that comes from, and then why might some people from Western cultures see that as potentially uncomfortable or other ways, and why would that be different? And understanding that and being able to discuss those things is part of what we're trying to do, is understanding each other as culture.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So thank you for the question.
Yes, it's a very good question. And then learning is a lifelong process. Look at this, because I'm doing the master's here, and found that there is a big age difference. And this man, he brought his daughter here, and her daughter studied here, and he studied here. Actually, he had a lot of things to do, but now he went back to China because of the pandemic. So I think it's not about that, you are single, you are the student just graduated, and then you get here to get another master degree. It's not about that. And then when I'm learning the other languages such as Spanish, I found that there was a woman. She's very energetic, but she is 71 year old last year. I think it's really astonishing for me, because it's never too late to learn, and you can learn it much better than the young people. And then part-time students, I've got a lot of course mates, they are studying as part-time students. For some courses, some universities in China, if you are taking the part-time course, actually you are not recognized for some some employers. So they think that, it's not equal, you're not studying as a full-time student. But here I can see that all of my course mates, even if they're part-time students, they learned the same as us. So they are really studying hard, and they everything they are learning is the same to us, and they also need to do the dissertation. They also need to, take the exams. I think they are very equal. You see, it doesn't matter. There are no judgments about that, and it's even harder for them because they have their own families. They need to manage their kids whenever they are, sometimes I see some students when they're having class, they have kids around, for them online courses. It's really not an easy job for them. I think it's encouraging. And then learning is using, here is a basket, and you need to do a lot of things. You need to think a lot. You have a lot of things to do, but how can you do it effectively? Actually, from my perspective, whenever I learn something, I'd love to share. So I'm very glad to have the great chance to share here, because I can do a reflection of my own life, and then I can understand it more. And when you're asking me some questions, I can think it twice. I think it's very good. So I think learning is using. If you're not using it, maybe it's not worth it, right? And then it's not about learning from the classes. And I said, you need to do the multiple learning, whether it's learning from the online courses, or it's learning from other institutions such as Confucius Institution. You can learn a lot here because you can meet a lot of friends here. You can enjoy that time here. And then when you're here, you should never forget your hobbies. I know you have a lot of things to do. Yes, this word is said to myself. You have a lot of things to do, but you still need to manage your life, because if you don't do it, actually you will feel stressed. See, I go to the gym from the beginning, and in the gym I met my best friend here, and we always travel together. So it's really very precious. And then yes, read books and watch videos. I can watch a lot of videos from YouTube. In China, I never watched YouTube videos before. We have a lot of other platforms, but here I can watch a lot. I can learn a lot of free courses about learning English here. I think I've earned a lot. Yes, and then I said I need to learn different cooking skills. I will show you later. And photography and travel, there will be a lot of photos in the following. So I just paraphrase this famous sentence: ask not what life can do for you, ask what you can do for life. You need to be proactive, and then you shouldn't complain, and then you can learn a lot. So have we missed out the spring? Let me show you my mobile photography to see how beautiful the UK is. And see this from the beautiful garden. There is the cherry blossoms, and another color, another flower, I don't know the name. See, when I'm taking the photos of them, I just want to know them better. I try to be a friend with them, and then I can write something, And this is the daisy. Actually, in China, I never saw a daisy in pink. See, in pink, I found, wow, they're really like very cute, beautiful little girl. I love it so much because I love the pink color. And I can show you. They're beautiful. They're wild flowers, but you can see them everywhere. And this daisy is the Chinese version. It's just I took the photo in my own hometown, and this is the small houses there. It's in a village. I really love the life here, everywhere, the green land, and the beautiful, houses. Can show you the photo, the different kinds of flowers here. Let's just enjoy the springtime here. And these pictures were taken just in the university. There is a very small garden there. And this is, when sometimes even it's not flower, it's just the straws or the leaves. You can also see the beauty there. Look at this, they are not colorful, but it can give you some inspiration. Yes, let's enjoy the diversity of life here. I really enjoy the time here, and if I can play the music here and you can enjoy it, oh, it's very relaxing. When I'm looking back these photos, I feel that I'm much happier. It kind of, yes.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, of all of these photos around Coventry, is
yes.
this something that have you had to travel outside, or are you been from within the city?
Actually, it's all around Coventry. I have several friends here, and they say they don't expect too much around here. They want to travel far away, but sometimes you don't have that time and money, so you need to find the beauty just in around you. So I look at all of the beauties here, so I just want to have a great talk to all of these plants, because it's offensive if you take photos of people, so I can't do that. I see a lot of beautiful girls and handsome boys, but they just in my brain I can't show you here because I can't take the photos how I wish I can. I'm just enjoying their beautiful looks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And these daffodils, I never know the names. I never saw it before. I got this one. I asked others, and they told me that daffodil is, they come in poems, and even there is a very famous poet. It's Milling, A. Milling, and he wrote a lot of poems about daffodils. And then when I'm reading his poems and I look at these daffodils, I found, oh my gosh, this country is so poetic just because it has such beautiful landscape, and that generated a lot of great poets. And look at this, even when the flowers, even they died, they still have some good looks. And look at the sky. Actually, I've taken a lot of good photos about the blue skies here. I really love it when it's sunny, the blue sky. A lot of our course mates from China, they really love the landscape here. The reason why we don't go back to China and this special moment is just because we really enjoy the landscape here. We love it so much. And I even draw a photo of them because I think sometimes you focus on your interests and you love it. You can spend some time to just enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And yes, this is out of Coventry. You can't see it here. I think that is, so we can't enjoy this beautiful landscape here. So it's a shame for me. So sometimes I need to go to some other places. I really enjoy it to see more beauty of this land.
So you mentioned that some of the differences again in mm-hmm. you're finding it a little different to have maybe the blue sky. So what are some of the biggest differences between maybe your hometown and the area and Coventry and its area in relation to maybe the countryside and the feeling of being here?
Yes, as I mentioned, my hometown is a village. they're similar. It's similar to the village here, but most of the time I am in the big cities, so the sky you can see most of the time they're gray and noisy on the street because a lot of cars there. So you can't enjoy it. If you really want to enjoy the village, you need to get out of the city. But here, even when I look outside of my high building, because I'm now living in a 16th store high building, I can see, wow, all of the houses there, they're very beautiful. I can show you the photos later. So they're not high buildings, so that can make you feel content, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And look at this. I chose this one because this couple, they're hand in hand walking. In China, you can seldom see people who maybe over 30, they're hand in hand, the couples. We are kind of very conservative. We don't want to show the love in public. But actually, it's not about showing love. It's about that, oh, you two are loyal to each other. You see, it can give you a very good feeling when I see it. It's not. This is one of the photo. Actually, I've seen a lot of such beautiful scenery. I think it's also can give you the happy feeling. And then this is the house. I love it. I found, oh my gosh, a garden. Especially during the pandemic, a garden actually it can give you the treat. It can release all of your anxiety. And this one, from my view of my high building, when I look down the window, I can see the Greenland here. I can see the blue sky. I can see all of the beautiful red houses. In China, it's like this. But not always like this. But you can see most of my experience was like this. When you look down, you see a lot of high buildings. So, you can see in China, people are really stressed. You need to draft hard to get yourself settled down. You need to buy a house. You need to get married. You need to send your kids to a good school. So you don't have extra time to think about the poetry, about travel. And this is all of the, maybe it's graffiti, and it's also, maybe it's not good for some people eyes. They think it's ruining the buildings, but from my mind, I found they're really beautiful. See, even when I look at these girls wearing a mask, I found, oh, they're so fashionable. Maybe if wearing a mask can be a fashion, everybody would like to wear a mask. They won't resist it. But you know what? I didn't show you the picture. In China, what you can see from the walls, there are a lot of ads, a lot of ads everywhere, and people write a lot of words on it. See, they left their numbers for you to call them. But if you can see these beautiful portraits, you're gonna have another feeling, And wearing a mask, you see, people are creative. The moment I saw it, I took the photo, but now it's gone. And the cats, I love the cats. This cat, I took a lot of photos of it. see, I love its beautiful eyes, and it's like a model. It can give you the happy feeling again, especially during the pandemic. And then another cat. Yeah. Yeah, this is a fake one.
So are there not so many people, are pets and cats like that's common in China? Do you think many people have these pets, or is this something that's quite unusual for you?
In countries, I think in some countryside, these cats are all wild cats, and people have it because the cats can, catch the rats. But in big cities, you need to have enough room. You need to have the money to have the pets. So if you can see, someone who, has the pets, whether it's dog or a cat, you can confirm that, they've got the time, they've got the money to keep it, because it costs you a lot of money. But I think it's more and more popular in China. And this one, yeah, the swans and the birds and the squirrels. I have to say, you can never, take a photo so close to all of these animals in China. I live in a village, so I can take the photo of the chickens, all of the ducks in my family, but not as close as this. They never scare people. So I think it's very good because they can live a happy life as well. And you can take a close look at them and you can enjoy their beauty. But the bad thing is people always feed them. They feed them with a lot of bread. So it's a kind of pollution, I think. And look at the doves and the squirrel. You can never see a squirrel in a city in China, but in a village from my hometown, I can always see them. But they're running so fast. I can never take a photo like this, Yeah, they're still fast here, but they're not that fast as I saw in my hometown. And when it comes to the community, you see, permission to smile, greet someone today. I really love it. Help melt the ice. So when I saw it, I just spread my lips to my ears. I love it. Whenever I was walking the street, if someone who is walking toward me smiled to me, I just smiled back. I think if that can be a way of socializing, I would like to do it every day. And then it's very warm. Sometimes I just want to take a walk outside during the pandemic. So I took the photos of these rainbows. So at that time, I also bought some colorful pencils and I drew some pictures like this. It's a kind of hope. It's a kind of future. And these are the photos when I was traveling. This one, it's the new year, It's just the last, the end of last year, and we were there in London. There's so many people, we can't see the fireworks there. What I can see is just this, the fireworks. So many people. I was so surprised that there are so many people, but there are no violence there, no bad things happened there. It's good. And this one, when I was traveling, I met, this lady. She is very, very energetic. She told us a lot of stories, and she never had a phone, but she knows everything. So I thought you can learn a lot from her, that she loves traveling. She read a lot of books. So I was also wondering, if I was as old as her, can I think like her? Can I travel like her? And this one, we can get free food every Monday in the university. It's just near our university. So I've tried several times, as when it talks about food. At the beginning, I was reluctant to cook food because the food here, everything here is very expensive, and I can't cook the way I cooked in China. So at first, this one is really exciting for me. So I always go there to get the food, free food to eat. I never get that free food in China. So I feel very warm. And this one traveled in a hostel, and this we all talk together from different nationalities. I will talk about them later. Look at this. Yes, here. See this old man. Yes, we call him the old man. I really, really, admire him because he can't speak any English. He is traveling here, and he's still here, and all alone, and he lives in a hostel, even during the lockdown. And he went to the library to copy all of the theory about calligraphy. He wrote them down, English, Chinese, and he shared his artworks here. And they're very fortunate. I acted as his translator. Yes, we're strangers, but I translated for him. And this man is from America, and we shared a lot of stories because he studied in China before. So we also shared a lot of culture difference, and he gave him his artwork as a gift. And this girl, I also love her so much. She loves travel, and she has got her own CD. She's a singer, and they swapped the gifts. And the old man, gave her his collection of artwork. And at that moment, I took the photo of them. I think, yeah.
Can I jump in, because this is all very interesting. Again, meeting strangers and finding these relationships. That relates to a question that's been asked from our audience, who asks, an anonymous person asks, because you said it is important to work hard to meet people here, do you feel strangers are more or less social here than in big Chinese cities? And what's the difference in the experience of making new friends? So do you think it's easier to make new friends here or back in a city in China?
If it comes to meet people and say hello to people, I think it's easier here. But if it comes to get a further relationship with the people, it's harder. But it depends. Sometimes, in China, we tend to have meals together, and we tend to have sometimes socializing is a business. If you don't have, people are crazy about meeting a lot of new people and to get some kind of, business. That's another fact. But here, I think it's very good because you are from different country. Maybe because I look different here. So sometimes people say "ni hao" on the street to me. So I think that is just like when you are walking in the street in China and I say hello to you. you will feel a little bit weird, but you think that, oh, that is how this feel like when you're saying hello to a foreigner when you're in China. But same here. I've got several times when people in the car or on the street, they say hello, or they say ni hao, which means hello. So I think it's, yes, it depends whether it's easier or more difficult. It's just because I am a foreigner here, sometimes people love to talk to you. But it's all about your own feelings, whether you think that people are really kind or people are very cold. I mean, people don't want to talk to you.
Okay, and with this topic, you've mentioned earlier that I think you say that perhaps Chinese students have a reputation of staying together and not making new friends, and maybe staying in sort of a bubble of other Chinese students and within the Chinese community. What sort of advice or encouragement would you give to those students to do like you said and try to find ways to meet more multicultural, more people from English-speaking backgrounds?
Yes, if it's really hard for you to break the ice with the stranger, I think you need to start from your course mates or start from your neighbor. I also had a good relationship with my neighbors. Whenever you want to have a walk, you get out of your house and you say hello to them and they say hello to you. And sometimes you say, every relationship starts from a very simple hello. How are you? It's a good weather, isn't it? Yes, I think that's the first step. And then you need to be very, very inclusive. You need to understand others. One of my neighbors, she always wear a barefoot. So at first I can't understand. So I just asked her, why always, don't put on your shoes? And then we have a little bit chat. So as long as you can try your best to understand others, and then, if that one love to talk to you, I think it's a good chance. But you can't push it. If someone don't want to talk to you, you can't push it. Just let it be. There are always some people, they're kind. Yes, of course, there are some people they're not.
Wen Ya, there is one question. From your pictures, we can say you have very wonderful experience in the UK. So far, what is your biggest gain studying in the UK?
I think it's being very inclusive. I think it's just what I want to say here. You're accepted because you accept others. Because when I was in China, the people around me, they're all the same. They're all, we look the same, we share the same culture. But here you have a lot of different nationalities. You can see a lot of different people. They have their different beliefs. So actually at first you have a lot of bias, but then you can break it and you can learn, you can think out of the box. That's what I'm always talking about. That is very important. I love it. And when it's about study, I think it's about being critical. You need to do the critical thinking. You shouldn't always have a fixed mind. I think that's really what I have learned. If I don't have this experience, if I don't study abroad, actually, I will never know that there are so many different, beautiful people or things in the world. So you need to get out, think out of the box.
Yeah, I know going abroad is always a challenge for people. So could you please give some advice to British people who is going to study or work in China?
Oh my gosh, if you really want to study in China, actually, I think you'd better choose the big cities, because, the big cities, they're more inclusive. They also have met a lot of nationalities, such as 北京、上海、广州、Shenzhen. And a lot of my foreigners friends in China, they love Shanghai the most, because I think Shanghai is very close. The culture, they had the culture that are similar as the UK, because of the history. So you love it. Before you study there, if you have a good chance, you can travel to China. China is not expensive. It's not expensive as the UK. Why not have a look at them? Have a look and travel. And sometimes, if you have a very good, if you're very lucky, you can meet a lot of nice people. But sometimes if you can't, just keep going and just have a look. You can meet a lot of different people. And for me, I even haven't traveled, through China. If I finished my study here, I will go back to China. I will travel there, because I think that I can't know the truth just because I haven't seen the truth. I need to have a look. I need to have a look about my own country. I need to have a look about different people living in different areas. I'm living in the middle part of China, the north part, the south part, the west part, east part, all different, just because I don't know. So I also have a bias of them. So I think you can start from the big cities and have a travel, and then go to different parts of China to have a look. And if you really want to choose a university to start here, I think there are more professional suggestions from Confucius Institute, or you can search it from other website, because you have different majors. You have different needs of learning. So, yes, does that make sense? Do I need to continue or just ask the questions? I prepared a lot, but I'm not going to share all of them. Yeah.
I think we're coming up towards the end of, yes. I think 55 minutes now. I think we're 5 minutes towards the end. So I think it's a good time to come up with some sort of closing thoughts, if you will. And again, if anyone in the audience has any questions to like to answer, now would be the last chance to send them off. So if you could perhaps look back at, everything you've said so far about your experience. So what I think my question then would be, what's the biggest surprise about coming to the UK? So what's out of all of these things, and you've been very proactive, very things, what do you think is the biggest surprise, and what's the most important thing you've learned?
Oh, the most important thing. I think it's a kind of similar. You've learned a lot and you want to learn more. For me, it's still just a kind of different way of thinking, that surprised me a lot. And even about food, I haven't showed you the picture of food. Let me have a look. The food. This is, see, from the left, the food. Oh my gosh. Yes, from the left, the food I cooked, and I thought, I'm kind of combined the photo, the food, the ways of cooking together. So I think sometimes you need to find a way to understand others and combine them together. It's just like the culture. You know what? You think the British food isn't to your taste. That is because you never tasted the good food here. I have to say that is the truth. At the beginning, I thought, the food, they're not food, so they don't have any flavor. But then when I tried, I downloaded a lot of apps and learned cooking from other course mates. I found that, wow, the British food, maybe you don't have a very specific characteristic, but they are very brilliant. They're not as bad as you thought. So you can't get it just because you haven't tried it. So open your mind. That's my game, I think.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we can finish there.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much for taking the time to share your experience with us. And thank you for everyone for watching. As I said, a video of this session will be available through the confuciusinstitute.coventry.domains/news page. So I think I'll say goodbye, and yeah, would you like to say goodbye? And we'll say thank you very much for spending time with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I had a very good time here to be with you. Thank you for your brilliant questions, and thank you for inviting me to give a sharing here. Thank you, and goodbye.